Brothers and sisters, let me speak to you today with boldness and clarity, because the truth I am about to share can transform your life from this very moment. The battlefield of your life is not outside, it is within your mind. Every victory you have ever desired, every purpose God has placed in your heart, begins with what you think, how you perceive, and the decisions you make in your mind. Your mindset is not just a small part of your life, it is the engine that drives your destiny. I want you to understand that the world will try to tell you who you are, what you can do, and what is possible. The world will present limitations, failures, and doubt as truths. But God's word says that transformation begins when your mind is renewed. You are not bound by yesterday's mistakes, by others' opinions, or by the voices of fear and negativity. What God has put in you is far greater than any circumstance surrounding you. Today, I am declaring to you that your mindset can either be your greatest enemy or your most powerful ally. When you guard your thoughts, align them with God's truth, and refuse to be conformed to the patterns of this world, you step into a place of supernatural advantage. Every champion, every leader, every person who has walked in extraordinary success under principle victory begins in the mind before it manifests in the world. As we go deeper, I want you to open your heart, because what you will learn is not just theory, it is practical, spiritual strategy. I am going to show you how to fight fear with faith, how to protect your mental kingdom, how to turn clarity of purpose into unstoppable action, and how to persevere when challenges rise. By the end of this message, you will see that when your mindset is aligned with God, success is not just a possibility, it becomes inevitable. So I want you to stay with me. Pay attention. Receive this with a spirit of boldness and expectation, because God is ready to elevate your thinking, sharpen your focus, and release you into the fullness of His plan for your life. Your journey toward a victorious mind, a powerful mindset, and an extraordinary destiny begins here, and it begins now. Your mind is everything. And today, you are about to discover why everything in your life changes when you take control of it and let God guide it. Listen carefully, because this truth is non-negotiable. Your mind is the battlefield, and the way you think shapes the life you live. Transformation begins not in your circumstances, not in your relationships, not in your possessions, but within your mind. Romans 1:22 tells us plainly, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That renewal is the starting point of victory, the foundation upon which every success, every purpose, every breakthrough in your life is built. If you do not renew your mind, you will remain trapped in cycles of fear, doubt, and limitation. You cannot outgrow what you continue to think. Your life will only ever reflect the patterns you allow to dominate your mind. To renew your mind is to intentionally align your thoughts with God's truth, to filter every idea, every belief, every perception through the lens of His word. Your mind is not neutral. It is either working for you or against you. When it is filled with negativity, comparison, or fear, it dictates actions that lead to failure. But when it is aligned with God's truth, it produces clarity, purpose, and unstoppable momentum. Every thought, every decision, every choice must be measured against what God says about you, not what the world or your past tells you. This is why renewing your mind is not optional. It is spiritual warfare. It is preparation for the destiny God has ordained for you. You must also understand that transformation is a process, not an instant event. It requires discipline to reject patterns of thinking that have kept you small, to replace them with thoughts that reflect your God-given identity, your purpose, and your potential. The world will constantly bombard you with ideas, opinions, and distractions designed to derail you from thinking biblically, strategically, and victoriously. Your commitment to renewing your mind is what sets you apart. This is the difference between those who are shaped by circumstances and those who shape their circumstances. Renewing your mind produces freedom. Freedom from fear, from limitation, from comparison, from the voices that try to tell you who you are and what you can become. It produces insight, clarity, and confidence. It allows you to see possibilities where others see impossibilities, solutions where others see problems, and opportunities where others see obstacles. Your thoughts are seeds, and what you plant in your mind determines the harvest you will reap in life. Choose to plant faith, purpose, and God's truth, and you will reap victory, success, and fulfillment that cannot be shaken. Remember this: your mind is the command center of your life. To control it, to renew it, to saturate it with God's truth, is to take hold of the destiny God has designed for you. Transformation is not external. It begins internally with the way you think, perceive, and believe. This is why your mind must be guarded, strengthened, and intentionally aligned with God. Your life cannot rise above your thinking. If you renew your mind, your life will follow, and success, purpose, and divine fulfillment will become your reality. This is not theory. This is spiritual strategy. Transformation starts here within you when your mind becomes a temple of truth, clarity, and power. The battle is won first in the mind, and when you win there, everything else falls into place. Fear is the thief of destiny. It robs you of opportunities, silences your potential, and paralyzes your God-given purpose. 2 Timothy 1:7 declares, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." Understand this fear is never from God. It is the enemy's strategy to keep you small, to keep you waiting, and to convince you that you are incapable. Courage, however, is the antidote, and it is rooted in faith. Faith does not ignore reality, but it confronts every circumstance with the confidence that God is greater than every obstacle, every voice of doubt, and every limitation imposed by the world or your past. When you focus on fear, you shrink, you play small, you settle for mediocrity. But when you focus on faith, you expand. Faith is an engine. It activates your potential, moves you forward, and calls forth the extraordinary. Every great achievement in Scripture, every breakthrough, every miracle begins with someone choosing faith over fear. It is a conscious decision to trust God's promises even when the path is unclear, to step forward boldly when logic says stay back, and to declare victory before you see the results. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in the presence of fear, fueled by faith in the Almighty who holds your future. Faith activates destiny because it aligns your inner belief system with God's reality. Your thoughts and attitudes determine your actions, and your actions determine your results. Fear clouds judgment, slows progress, and invites failure. Faith illuminates possibilities, sharpens vision, and propels you towards success. Courage undergirded by faith transforms hesitation into action and obstacles into opportunities. The Spirit of God empowers you to rise above anxiety, to silence doubt, and to take steps that move you closer to your purpose. Courage is cultivated through consistent practice. Each time you choose faith over fear, your confidence grows, your vision expands, and your influence increases. You begin to understand that God's power is greater than any challenge you face. You see fear for what it is, a temporary barrier, and faith for what it is, a divine engine designed to move you into the fullness of your destiny. A winner's mindset is inseparable from courage. Without faith-driven boldness, knowledge, skill, and talent alone cannot secure success. Fear must be confronted, resisted, and replaced with trust in God. Your mind, once renewed, works in tandem with courage to create unstoppable momentum. Faith activates what is dormant within you and propels you toward the calling that cannot be delayed. Every step you take in faith shifts the course of your life, from limitation to victory, from hesitation to decisive achievement. To embrace faith over fear is to claim the authority God has already given you. It is to walk boldly into your destiny, knowing that the Spirit of power and love is your guide. Fear has no home in a life surrendered to God. Choose faith, act courageously, and watch your purpose manifest with unstoppable force. The mind is your kingdom, and what you allow to dwell there determines the quality of your life. Philippians 4:8 instructs us, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, honest, just pure, lovely, and of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things." Every thought you entertain is a seed planted in your inner world, and seeds grow into actions, habits, and ultimately the life you live. Negativity, doubt, and fear are destructive seeds. They produce limitation, anxiety, and failure. Conversely, thoughts rooted in God's truth produce victory, peace, and prosperity. Guarding your thoughts is not optional. It is a spiritual command and a strategic necessity. Your mind is under constant assault from the world, the flesh, and the enemy. Media, opinions, comparisons, and false narratives seek to invade your mental kingdom and shape your destiny without your consent. If you do not actively filter what enters your mind, you will slowly adopt the beliefs, fears, and limitations of others instead of embracing God's plan for your life. Your thoughts dictate your emotions, which dictate your words, which dictate your actions, which determine your results. To control your life, you must first control your mind. Discipline in thought requires vigilance. You must identify and reject mental patterns that undermine your purpose. Worry, resentment, envy, and fear are intruders that steal your power. Replace them with truth, gratitude, faith, and visions aligned with God's promises. Think on what is noble, praiseworthy, and godly. Deliberate focus on what is true expands your capacity for clarity, creativity, and decision-making. Guarding your mental kingdom also involves creating protective boundaries. Who you listen to, what you watch, and the conversations you engage in shape your thoughts and ultimately your life. Surround yourself with voices of encouragement, wisdom, and faith, and distance yourself from negativity and criticism that distract from your calling. A mind saturated with God's truth is unshakable, and the life that flows from it is unstoppable. Every successful Christian understands this principle: victory begins in the mind. Protecting it ensures that fear, doubt, and distraction do not dictate your destiny. You cannot outgrow what you continue to think. Guard your thoughts, saturate your mind with God's truth, and watch as your life transforms into the manifestation of His promises. Your mind is the control room of your destiny. Secure it, fortify it, and let it direct every step towards success, fulfillment, and divine purpose. Embracing purpose is the bedrock upon which a winning mindset is built. Proverbs 6:63 says, "Commit your works to the Lord, and your plans will be established." A mind without purpose is like a ship adrift at sea, tossed by waves and at the mercy of the currents. Clarity of purpose brings focus, direction, and intentionality. It allows you to rise above distractions, overcome doubt, and pursue your God-given destiny with unwavering determination. Purpose is not merely a goal, it is the divine blueprint for your life, the roadmap that guides your decisions, and the compass that keeps you aligned with God's will. When you live without purpose, you wander aimlessly, and even the best intentions can lead to confusion, frustration, and wasted potential. Purpose fuels perseverance because it anchors your mind in a vision greater than the present circumstances. Every challenge, every obstacle, and every delay becomes an opportunity to sharpen your resolve rather than a reason to quit. When your mindset is driven by purpose, you see setbacks not as failures but as lessons, as stepping stones toward the fulfillment of God's plan. Purpose transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement because it aligns your actions with the divine will, ensuring that your work is meaningful and lasting. Without clarity, energy dissipates, decisions become inconsistent, and progress is limited. Purpose sharpens your mental faculties, organizes your priorities, and provides a framework within which discipline and action can operate effectively. A purpose-driven mindset is proactive. It does not wait for circumstances to dictate the next step. It takes initiative, seeks wisdom, and makes choices with confidence because it understands that each decision should reflect the vision God has placed within. Purpose also protects your mind from distraction and negativity. When you are clear about why you exist and what you are called to do, the opinions of others, the pull of mediocrity, and the temptation to conform cannot derail you. Purpose gives a sense of urgency, a clarity of mission, and a conviction that every action counts toward achieving the destiny for which God created you. Purpose compels alignment with God. A mindset aligned with divine intent does not rely solely on human strength, talent. It acknowledges God as the ultimate strategist and submits to His guidance in every step. Purpose ensures that your mindset remains humble, teachable, and responsive to His direction. It provides a filter for every thought, decision, and action, ensuring that your energy is invested in what truly matters. Those who embrace purpose develop a mental framework capable of withstanding trials, navigating uncertainty, and seizing opportunities with discernment. Clarity transforms intention into execution and vision into tangible results. When your mind is firmly rooted in purpose, it becomes an unstoppable engine, propelling you toward the fulfillment of God's calling. Purpose turns potential into power, dreams into action, and plans into reality. It is the anchor of a resilient, focused, and victorious mindset. The essence of embracing purpose is this: a mind with clarity knows where it is going, why it is going there, and how to reach the destination. Purpose gives your thoughts direction, your actions significance, and your life impact. Align your mindset with God's plan, and every step you take becomes intentional, every effort meaningful, and every challenge an opportunity for growth and victory. Perseverance is the invisible force that distinguishes those who achieve from those who merely wish. James 1:12 declares, "Blessed is the man who endures temptation, for when he has been approved, he will receive the crown of life which the Lord promised to those who love Him." Challenges are not obstacles to stop you. They are tests designed to reveal the strength of your mindset and refine your character. A person with a winner's mindset does not shrink in the face of adversity. They rise because they know that resilience is forged through trials. Every trial presents an opportunity to cultivate patience, fortitude, and wisdom, qualities essential for success. Life will inevitably test your resolve, but those who remain steadfast grow stronger with every encounter, turning setbacks into stepping stones. Challenges sharpen discernment. When your mind faces resistance, it learns to focus on solutions rather than problems. Resilience is the armor that allows you to persevere when others give up, and it protects your mindset from despair, doubt, and distraction. Perseverance also teaches endurance, the capacity to sustain effort over time. Quick wins are fleeting, but steady, determined effort builds lasting results. Resilient minds develop an internal fortitude that cannot be swayed by external circumstances. Even in failure, they see lessons, opportunities for growth, and divine preparation for greater success. The power of perseverance lies not only in enduring difficulty, but in maintaining faith that God's promises are active and unfolding, even when immediate results are not visible. Perseverance transforms perspective. It trains the mind to expect victory, not by avoiding difficulty, but by pressing through it. Resilient individuals understand that challenges do not define their destiny, their response to those challenges does. Obstacles become catalysts for creativity, problem solving, and leadership development. Each trial strengthens the mind, refines character, and prepares the individual for higher levels of responsibility and impact. Success is rarely a straight path. It is a journey filled with tests, setbacks, and moments that demand courage and endurance. Those who persevere view difficulty as a natural part of growth, not as a deterrent. Resilience also builds confidence. Each challenge overcome reinforces the belief that you are capable, equipped, and empowered by God's strength. It instills discipline, patience, and the ability to remain focused on long-term objectives. Through perseverance, the mind becomes trained to see opportunity where others see limitation, to act when others hesitate, and to remain steadfast when the world expects surrender. Challenges are not enemies, they are teachers, sculpting the mind, strengthening resolve, and building the unshakable confidence of a winner. Ultimately, perseverance is the bridge between potential and achievement. It converts intention into accomplishment, dreams into reality, and setbacks into triumph. A resilient mindset does not quit, it adapts, learns, and presses forward. To cultivate a winning mindset, embrace challenges, endure patiently, and allow every trial to strengthen your mental, emotional, and spiritual fortitude. Success belongs to those who persist when others falter, and victory is reserved for the steadfast. A mindset, no matter how strong, remains dormant without decisive action. James 20:17 reminds us, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. Thinking, planning, and visualizing are essential, but they are meaningless unless translated into bold, deliberate steps. A winner's mindset recognizes that action is the conduit through which intention becomes reality. Dreams, potential, and strategies exist only in the mind until action breathes life into them. Decisive action transforms faith into accomplishment, clarity into progress, and purpose into tangible results. Action requires courage because moving forward often entails risk. The mind can conceive a vision, but it is only when you step out with confidence that the unseen becomes seen. Decisive individuals do not wait for perfect conditions. They act in alignment with God's wisdom and timing, understanding that waiting indefinitely is often the greatest obstacle to fulfillment. Action is a declaration that you trust God with the outcomes, that you are willing to labor, and that you refuse to be paralyzed by fear, uncertainty, or doubt. Bold execution separates dreamers from doers, and those who act decisively position themselves to receive God's blessings. Consistency in action compounds results. Small intentional steps taken daily accumulate into monumental progress over time. The mind generates ideas, but without execution, these ideas dissipate like mist. Action creates momentum, fuels confidence, and reinforces discipline. Each step forward validates the mindset, strengthens resolve, and teaches lessons that no theory or planning can impart. Momentum generated by decisive action opens doors, attracts opportunities, and produces visible evidence of progress. Moreover, action is a spiritual principle. God calls us to not only believe and plan, but to labor in faith. Obedience, effort, and diligent work are expressions of trust in Him. A mind aligned with God's purpose gains strength and clarity when paired with action because it demonstrates commitment to divine instruction. Waiting for others for conditions or for perfect understanding delays blessings. Action positions you to experience God's provision, guidance, and miraculous intervention. Decisive action also inspires others. Leaders, innovators, and visionaries influence their environment through movement. Hesitation breeds doubt and stagnation, but those who act decisively set a standard, motivate others, and become instruments of God's purpose. Action converts potential into legacy, turning a mindset of possibility into a reality of achievement. Ultimately, action validates mindset. Thinking alone never fulfills destiny. Faith without works is dead, and a mind without movement is incomplete. To manifest the full power of a winner's mindset, cultivate boldness, act with intentionality, and commit to consistent effort. Victory is the natural consequence of a mind that not only conceives but also executes. Those who act decisively align with God's design, activate their potential, and move from vision to accomplishment with unstoppable momentum. Ladies and gentlemen, as we bring this message to a close, let us pause and reflect on the undeniable truth that has been unveiled before us. Your mind is the battlefield where victory is won or lost, and your actions are the instruments that transform thought into reality. We have explored the power of renewing your mind, embracing faith over fear, guarding your thoughts, clarifying your purpose, persevering through challenges, and acting decisively. Each principle is not merely advice, it is a divine strategy, a blueprint from God Himself to empower you to live beyond limitation and achieve the extraordinary destiny He has designed for you. The enemy seeks to trap us in fear, indecision, and doubt, but the Word declares that those who discipline their thoughts, align with God's truth, and act with courage will experience triumph that cannot be shaken. Understand this, a winner's mindset is not inherited, it is cultivated. It begins with the conscious choice to align your thinking with God's promises. Every negative thought, every moment of hesitation, every doubt is an opportunity to exercise spiritual authority and reclaim the territory of your mind. When you renew your mind daily with God's Word, you begin to see circumstances differently, perceive opportunity where others see limitation, and hear divine instruction over the noise of fear. Faith is activated through action, courage is exercised through obedience, and perseverance is validated through consistency. Your destiny responds not merely to what you know, but to what you implement. It is not enough to dream, plan, or intend. You must move. You must act. You must push beyond the paralysis of overthinking and step into the path of execution. Every challenge you face is a teacher, refining your character and fortifying your spirit. Endurance produces wisdom, patience, and resilience, and these qualities are what distinguish those who merely wish for success from those who possess it. Obstacles are not stop signs, they are divine checkpoints. They are God's way of strengthening your inner life, shaping your mindset, and preparing you for the higher level of victory that lies ahead. And when your actions are in alignment with your renewed mind and God's purpose, doors open that were previously closed. Blessings manifest where effort meets obedience, and momentum begins to propel you toward fulfillment. So I declare to you today, take full ownership of your mind, protect it with discipline, feed it with truth, and align it with God's will. Step forward boldly, persevere with patience, and act decisively in faith. Your thoughts, your courage, your focus, and your actions together create an unstoppable force. Success, purpose, and influence are not accidental. They are inevitable when you build and sustain a mindset that honors God and pairs belief with action. As we close, I urge you to go from this place with clarity and confidence. Guard your mind, act with courage, persevere through trials, and remain faithful to the divine purpose instilled within you. Let every step be guided by God's wisdom, every decision fueled by faith, and every effort be consistent and intentional. Your destiny awaits, and the path to it is illuminated by a disciplined, focused, and action-oriented mindset. Thank you, dear friends, for investing your hearts and minds in this message today. May you leave here empowered, emboldened, and equipped to conquer fear, dismiss doubt, and step into the victorious life God has ordained for you. Go forth with confidence, act decisively, and let your renewed mind be the catalyst for unparalleled success and divine fulfillment. The time is now, the opportunity is yours, and the victory is inevitable. Thank you, and may God's favor go with you always.